In the family, you have this one central story, and you follow this family and this man over a long period of time through many different episodes. And the grief of others is almost its complete opposite. It's trying to see if you can understand someone through these very small fragments, these very incomplete fragments where they're hiding things from you, and where there are a lot of different characters. So the novel, it's written by Leah Hager Cohen, and there are real dramatic scenes, real-time scenes in the novel. These situations where people make big decisions that you don't always get in a novel. Sometimes the big moments in novels are all interior, or they're just so big that it will take a huge budget to film. And this was the scale of the dramatic real-time scenes was perfect for a film adaptation.
Okay.
There he is. Paul. Do you remember Jessica?
Wow.
Had you were, I don't remember how old you must have been last time we were all together. Do you remember from the lake?
Yeah, I think so. Jessica as in Jess?
Our sister.
Yeah,
From a different line before Dad knew Mom.
Okay.
You're not the oldest.
We shot the film on Super 16 and Super 8, and just something about a tangible thing that you make things out of. And I think that when I write my scripts, I write by hand. That's the closest I get to handmade kind of work, is when I write my scripts, I always write the first draft by hand. And there is something about writing by hand that lets me shape it. Like, I feel freer, and I feel like I move things around, and I feel like I can make progress. And I think there's just something about humans working with objects and in this very personal, real-world way that feels like progress. And in the family, Joey works a lot with his hands, and he makes things for his son. In The Grief of Others, there's the artist who makes the dioramas. They will also serve as a kind of aesthetic guide. If you think about what is a diorama, they take very ordinary things, you know, you found around the house, or maybe the guts of things, you know, pieces, insides of machines and things that you kind of put together and you reimagine. But it's daily things that are reorganized in a way that's sometimes very bold, surprising, and it makes you feel something. And I started to think about the scenes of the movie this way. That, you know, there's something a little off and distorted about them. Sometimes the angles between two scenes are a little unexpected or rough, but it makes you feel something. And so I started thinking about the whole film, kind of like building a diorama in a way.
Can I help? No. No, you can't. I'm leaving this one for you.
In life, it's very easy to misunderstand people. So when I work with each of my designers, each of my collaborators, most of the time, I'm trying to prepare so that we don't misunderstand each other. Communication is not a given, and you have different personalities, and so it's just hard in general. When you talk about a family, there's different types of difficulty that come into play. A lot, and oftentimes they come out of an unexpected place, like the difficulties come out of love. And you see in this family where a lot of people are going through their own private troubles, part of the misunderstanding is caused because they try to hide that. It's a shame, because oftentimes sharing that thing is what leads to more meaningful conversations between people, you know, because it's real and it's personal, and it builds the bonds. And so I think that what happens in this family is, after a while, they get so used to not bothering other people with their problems that they haven't taken care of these bonds in a long time. Both In the Family and The Grief of Others deal with grief and how that family dynamics shift after a crisis and a moment of grief. And in The Family, it changes when, you know, a central character is gone. A character who kept the peace and connected a lot of people is gone. And so a lot of old relationships shift and disappear. Here, it's the hole at the center is from a newborn. And so it doesn't have a whole lot of history around it, but it's one of those things that it still makes a lot of people question their lives. I think it takes a lot of old wounds and kind of makes them new again. And I think that, I think even more what they have in common is that they're very grown-up, unresolved feelings. I think a lot of us have. Whether it's grief and loss or just distance from someone we used to be close to. Something unsaid, something that still bothers us kind of causes this distance between people. And the question of how do we close that distance, to find our place back to those happier times or closer times, more intimate, knowing times. I think that is a big issue in people's lives. Arguably, the issue why there's any pain caused is when there is this pain unresolved within a person. So I think that even though they do feel very similar, it is such a big thing, our relationships and our unresolved pains, that I don't think I could ever exhaust the topic.